Oh, well there, good morning. It's 2 a.m. on March the 8th, I believe, and I am going to be looking, well, as you see, I've got my potting soil here and some nice pots and my water ready to do a peroxide infusion. So let's get to this. I guess we should go and get the seeds. All right. Hello, honey cupboard. Hello, honey. How are you? Let's see how the little sprouts are doing today. Remember yesterday we were seeing an awful lot of growth in the bigger seed, and the smaller seed had just split the shell and was starting to show a little bit of root growing. Let's take a look at what we've got. Ooh, look at this. This is beautiful. She is completely ready to get planted. Look at this. I like to knock the shell off because, yeah, it's yucky and you don't want that stuck to your girl while she's growing. Oh, but look at that. She needs a little photosynthesis for those top leaves to turn green, but she is going to be beautiful. Now let's take a look at the other seed. Remember, this one was having a little bit of a harder time going. Oh, look at this. It's split open really nice. And technically, she's good to go for planting. As long as you've got a good root system coming out, you can plant her. I prefer to wait until they get to this stage before I plant. That's just a personal preference. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's do a little comparison here. Okay, we're going to compare what it's like. We'll keep this one in the bright green and the smaller one in the dark green, and we shall see how these two grow comparatively. Okay, so let's set the seeds aside for now. Now, first thing, of course, we're going to want to do is get out our potting soil. Now, this is really hard to do one-handed, so I'm gonna try to set you in a little stand here on my table, and you can kind of watch what I'm doing a little bit. I'm gonna try to keep it so you can see me here. Like I said, we're trying some new stuff. I've never tried anything like this before, but I really can't do this. I probably could have prepped it better without too much hassle, but I wanted to show you the full scenario. So we said we were going to put the big one in the lighter green. We want to pretty much the pot pretty much filled right to the top with soil. This is some of my favorite flowering soil. It's meant more for actual flowers, but seeing as the whole intention is to grow flowers, I figured these, why wouldn't this work great? It's got lots of good plant matter in it, and it also has these rehydration seeds that if you forget to plant your flower, release moisture. If you forget to water, if you forget to water your plant, these seeds release moisture and help the earth be a little more forgiving while your plant is rapidly sucking moisture out with every growth. Okay, I'm going to stop playing with the earth now. By the way, I've sterilized my hands, scrubbing them for 4 minutes at the sink with scrub brush water like the doctors do. Okay. Now, and then of course I've been playing with dirt, so yay! I don't quite get that. Do you get that? I don't get that. Let's sterilize our hands and then let's go play in the dirt. All right, so we're just going to dump both pots full because there's no point really in doing it one at a time. I'm going through, the reason I'm touching it and playing with it is because I want to break up any of the big clumps, like the soil is really dry, so I do want to break up any of the big clumps. Now, these will not be my permanent pots. These will be pretty much for about until the last 2 weeks of veg mode. Then I will transfer them into their big flower pots and give them a couple weeks to adjust and then start. Hopefully I managed to time it right because well, you know what? I'm gonna have to buy some bigger pots because I have no idea how my autoflowers are gonna work. I think I'm just gonna have to put them in the big pot right from the beginning. So we'll see how these go. These are definitely not autoflowers. I found these seeds, like I mentioned before, in a bag I got from Black Rabbit. I believe it was Wedding Crashers. Some beautiful, beautiful smoke. Lovely, lovely hybrid. And when I found the seeds, I thought, hey, so here we are. All right. Speaking of seeds, come back here. These are no longer seeds, by the way. These are now sprouts. So come here. Now, some people like to utilize kind of tweezers, gloves. Personally, I like to just make sure my hands aren't oily, sweaty, greasy. With dry, clean hands. Gently pick your sprout up, and if you take a look, she's got all kinds of roots coming off of her, and she's ready for the ground. Look at that. So I'm going to dig a little hole, and I'm going to pop her right down in. But I don't want to drown the head, so I'm going to just position it so that those leaves are just starting to come up out of the soil. And I'm going to tamp it down gently because I do not want to crush any of those very delicate little roots. And there we go. We have planted our first sprout. Now, like I said, this one is the one that's still a seed inside the shell with just the small root exposed. Let's take a look at that. That's just the small root exposed, and we're going to try that. When you plant them like this, you want to make sure that that root is pointing down and the seed shell is pointing up, okay? That's how you know it's in the right direction. This is something I had to learn. Just poke a nice little hole in here. You want to put it down about 1.5 inches, 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters. Around there. Okay, honestly, I don't know how big an inch is. I'm from Canada. It's about 4 centimeters down. I only guess, really. I've seen it on rulers, but I really don't know the conversion. All right, so that is lightly tamped down over our seed. It is right in the center there. And now we are going to create a moisture bath for these seeds using distilled water, and some hydrogen peroxide. You want to make sure you get the 3% solution. When you're using hydrogen peroxide, you don't want the stronger stuff. If you get the stronger stuff, you have to dilute it a heck of a lot more than what I'm doing here. They say to dilute it about 10 to 1. I tend to do it about 11 to 1, so depending on if I'm finding my plants are looking in need of more oxygen or not. But right at the beginning chlorophyll stage, when they just start processing light, that's when you want to really hit them with the oxygen. Okay, I am a hardcore believer in reduce, reuse, recycle. I have sterilized and cleaned this, getting all traces of acid and base soap out of it. I tested it with litmus to make sure everything is a-okay. And I marked it so that I know not to use this on my hair. And I'm going to use this food syringe. It's I don't even remember what it came with. I think one of my dogs had an ear infection once. Okay, so I'm going to go with looks like I've got a little crack in here, so I'm getting a little bit of bubbles. I'm going to need a new syringe. Getting a little bit of bubbles. Maybe if I just get it in there a little deeper. Okay, yeah, I'm going to need to buy a new syringe. Okay, got it. Alright, so we're going to put in approximately 20 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide, 3%. Oops, see, and did you see that squirt out? That there is where the crack is, right along there. Just 1 second. I've got some tape here. I can fix that. I said I would share all of my fails as well as my triumphs. And I think my first fail was my mess up setting up the tinfoil, and this here would be not testing my equipment and finding out I have a giant crack down the side of my syringe that has all the number measurements on it. Isn't that handy? Wow. Okay. Now, 20 milliliters line is, you can still see the edge of it right there, so we know we want to keep sucking the water up until we get to there. 1, 2, I should actually be pouring it in here, so let's try this again. 1, 2, 3. I think one of these days I'll figure out some of this video editing stuff where I speed things like this tediousness up, but in the meantime, 4. I'm having a lot of fun with this channel and really enjoying talking to some of the people that have been leaving messages. It's great to hear all of your feedback. Really encouraged me to put some more effort in and keep this going, so thanks a lot, everybody. And a couple of people have asked if I want to be YouTube friends. How do you make a YouTube friend? I don't think there's a friends list. Is it like Facebook? Do you have to be a Facebook friend to be a YouTube friend, or is it just the chatting and the conversation? Is that it? I am so new to this. Okay, and now this is 6. Pretty good how I kept that on my head, hey, and I didn't even have to check. I'm going to pour some more water in here. going to leave the lid off just in case I need more. But these cups seem to hold about 4, so it will likely be just enough to get the 10 to 1. I'm going to actually need a little bit more than that because I think 10 to 1 is a little too strong. So that's 8. Okay, you know what? Well, isn't this a conundrum? I'm gonna have to get a jug. Oh, fail! Oh my, just give me a second. I have another measuring cup somewhere set aside for just an occasion like this, but of course I can't find it right now. Here it is! See, I knew I had it. Okay, so we are going to continue making this. We have 9 syringes full of water, and we're going to keep making it in here. Like I said, I like 12, so here's 11. And look, we'll just pour the last drop of water in there. All right, okay. There is my solution. Now, I'm going to pour some of the solution into my peroxide solution bottle, as I evidently will not be able to fit it all in there. This being the first time I've used this bottle. We are learning as we go. Everybody, thank you so much for your patience with me here tonight. I know this is a long one, but like I said, I'm trying out a few new things. So, what I'm doing now is I'm going to be misting the heck out of these sprouts with my mister. Now, I suggest you use a mister or some kind of spray bottle because it does spread the product out more and doesn't cluster in one area. It also doesn't soak the soil so quickly that it creates depressions and declivities. That happens quite a bit and can be a bit of a pain. Go to water your plants and you wash half your soil away. Ah! What do you do? Don't panic is what you do. Now these have been in a very, very wet environment, so I should probably, and this soil is drier than what I usually use. So what I'm going to do is very carefully pour some around the outside of my pot, because I want it to work its way towards the center. I don't want it to wash away any of my growth medium. And we're going to do that again over here because I'm going to continue misting with the peroxide as in the days to come, but then I'll be Once we start seeing some decent green color coming from these sprouts, I'll stop with the peroxide and go straight to water. Okay, so I am going to be setting these girls, I hope they're going to be girls, I'm going to be setting these potential ladies up in my glorious little grow room tonight. They will be the first flowers in there. If I get a chance, I will give you a quick look at them. Now, how about I give you a quick look at the grow room tomorrow, all right? With all the lights on and everything looking all pretty and bright, it'll be good. All right, please subscribe. That would always make me happy. And it's always nice to make a girl happy, don't you think? So yeah, please subscribe. Big shout out to Black Rabbit for making my night a lit one. And thank y'all for watching. We'll see you. And if you have any questions or comments, I'll get back to you right away because I'm really enjoying the heck out of this community, guys. Thanks a lot. Be well.